Everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Neurodiverse Investor Assess. I'm your host, John Avayo. And boy, was NXT Emergence a really good show. We had a lot of things happening, a lot of great matches overall. Pretty much everyone in each division had time to shine. So let's get right into it. So we're going to start off with the kickoff show matches. So the first match was Indy Hartwell versus Rosemary. Really good match. Indy Hartwell's new gear looks good. Like her new gear. I feel like now she's getting more confident in TNA. I feel like you can see it a lot more in this match. Her gear looked great. The red, black, and purple, really good. Like it looked really good. She looked like a star. She was booked like a star in the match right away. She went after Rosemary. Rosemary and her went back and forth, but Rosemary pulls on Indy's eye, then bites her, and then puts her on the ropes, almost choking her out. But Indy fights back with a elbow drop from the corner of the ring on the top rope, back and forth. Rosemary tries to spit the green mist in Indy's face, but Daniel Luna comes in for the save, and Indy wins with the do not miss. I feel like this is really good, and I can't wait to see where it goes next. It's more likely Indy will maybe want to face whoever's the TNA knockout champion, because later in the show, she did talk about how whoever comes out of Heatwave, she wants next. So most likely that's maybe the storyline, but I don't think she's done with like Rosemary yet. I feel like it's something cooking there. So we have to wait to see how that all plays out. And then we get a really quick match, and I kind of predicted it. Hometown Man versus Ryan Mammoth, quick match. Ryan cuts a promo saying that, the city of Baltimore is bad, like, kind of making fun of Baltimore. Hometown Man comes in, literally says, "How dare you?" He brings back up, but pretty much Hometown Man beats the hell out of Ryan. There's a spinning slam and a roll up for a win. Really quick, and it was really good to like start the show. Now on to the main show. And we start out with one of my favorite matches of the night, the X Division Championship match, Leon Slater and Cedric Alexander. I feel like this match kind of stole the show a bit because the wrestling psychology in this match was really good. Like literally, both men came out swinging brutally. Alexander brutally hits Leon on the ring apron with like a killer like backdrop that injures Leon's back. It's a move outside that injures Cedric's legs. So they each try to use each other's injuries to try to knock him out. But pretty much Alexander was doing a bunch of suplexes and power bombs and arm burns, drops to try to get Leon to stay down, but Leon didn't stay down. Leon Slater was crazy. He flew around. He went after Cedric's leg. He did this one move off the top rope. When Cedric was about to hit a suplex, he reverses it into a cutter beautifully, seamlessly. Like, I never saw someone turn a suplex from mid-air straight into a cutter. Like, the transition was just like out of nowhere. Uh, and then out of nowhere, it was great. The ending was great. So back and forth. Cedric hits a power bomb and try to hit his finisher, but Leon turns it into the Styles Clash, doing a little honor, a little like, "Hey, AJ, you talked to me about why the X division means so much. I'm gonna do your move." It was really nice. He did the Style Clash and then he hits a 450 Swanton for the win. I love the storytelling of speed versus the veteran technique and power of Alexander versus the speed and pretty much the innovation of Leon Slater, someone who's still new to the wrestling game. He is amazing. Both of them did amazing, and this match was like really good, and I just loved it. Hopefully, we get a round two. Like, I want a second round of this match, and let's let more than 20 minutes. Let's give them like a good, decent 30. Maybe, hey, I would love to see an Iron Man match. I'm just saying, Iron Man match between Cedric and Leon would be great. Then we get Matt Cardona versus Ali, and it was classic power versus speed. Matt Cardona was using his power because he's more bigger than Ali, keeping him down, knocking him out. But Mustafa got back up quicker and using his speed and using outside interferences. We got multiple interferences with Tasha Steeles. Josh and Skylar tries to get in. Cardona drop kicks them on the outside back in the ring. A beat down back and forth. Ali tries to hit his 450 splash, but it doesn't work. And Cardona hits the radio silence for the win after Cardona gets jumped by literally Order 4 and Agent Zero. But the system comes in to save the day. Most likely, this is built into a multi-man tag team war soon. I can see it, and it's going to lead into the next match as well. Now to the next match. So then we get First Class versus the System, and it felt like a continuation of the first match. Because after Cardona and Ali fought, after the System came to save Matt, we saw Order 4 look at the System disgusted or like beef, like, oh, I don't like you guys, we don't like you guys when they was leaving. And then First Class came out. It was really good. Right away, Rick Strawn was getting beat up by Eddie Edwards and Myers. Myers and Eddie Edwards was keeping Rick Strawn down. But Rick Strawn uses the distraction that Alicia Edwards was trying to use on the outside to get AJ Francis distracted by Myers, but it backfires because Rick throws Myers into the steel steps, and then back in the ring, Rick Swan and AJ Francis does some really good like back and forth like tag moves, like multi-man drops onto Myers. Myers tags in Eddie. Eddie and Myers go at it. Not Eddie and Myers. Oh my god. Eddie and AJ Francis go at it like crazy. And then every man gets involved. Eddie takes out Francis, but Swan wins once again due to cheating, but it's not due to AJ Francis. Order 4 comes in, causes chaos, and Rick Swan steals the win from there with AJ Francis. So most likely the System in Order 4 will still have beef because they came to save Cardona, and Order 4 cost the System their match at TNA Emergence. So we're getting something cooking there, and I cannot wait to see the blowout of it all. And then we get Sami Callihan versus Mike Satana. It was so beautiful storytelling. So Callihan comes out and he says, "This is my last match. I'm a hardcore person. Santana, it would be an honor if I did a street fight with you." And then Santana's like, you know what? Why not? So we get a street fight out of nowhere. And it was a really good street fight. So we have Sami Callihan versus Mike Satana and the surprise street fight match that got pretty much announced right after Callihan said this was pretty much his last match. It was really good. They went all out. Callihan used steel chairs. He brought out a trash can from backstage. He brought a piece of paper with AJ and Casey Navarro's face on it, giving Mike Satana paper cuts on his hand, on his tongue. Callihan gives Mike Satana, like, I don't know, twice in the mouth with paper cuts, and that's kind of hurt. That had to hurt. Because, like, that's a sensitive part of the body just to get paper cuts, like, near the tongue and also in between your fingers. Like when I was watching, I was like, back and forth. Mike fights back with a cannonball, a volley buck 50. That doesn't work. So they go back and forth more. And we think Sammy's going to win Callihan because he hits 2 pyro drivers onto Satana's head, but that doesn't work. And Satana hits a rolling buck, spin the block for the win. And after Santana tells Callihan to get up, it's your last moment, they kind of hug it out. Santana leaves the ring. Callihan leaves his shoes to leave. That's a good send-off, leaving him as one of the most important parts of TNA history, kind of leaving the boots in the ring, being like, I'm still going to be in TNA. Like, I'm not a wrestler, but I made my mark here. It was really nice, and it was a really good farewell. And you can see, like, Mike Santana was really emotional because him and Callihan worked so many years together. Like, you saw it. It was really nice. It was nice. And it was really emotional, too. And then we got knockouts chaos in this beautiful, brilliant, and kind of fun match. So we get the Knockouts World Championships with the Elegance brand, Fatal Influence, Inspiration, Lei Ling, and Zaya Brookside. But before Lei Lee gets renewed her contract, but the way they did it was actually pretty cool. And I feel like they're gonna push her due to it. Cause Tommy Dreamer and the head of TNA kind of talks about how Lei Lee works so hard backstage, and she's one of the best women they have, and she is always trying her best, stuff like that. Like really making it sound like they're gonna give her that big push, and like how she came all the way from China, like the way they're building her up was good, and we saw it in the match too. But like I've been saying it, Lei Ling, she's a future star, and the way Tommy Dreamer and the head of TNA was talking about her, and then renewed her contract, and her crying in the ring, I feel like that's a really good. It was really good, really emotional, but I feel like that's gonna build her up more as a star. I'm saying it. Lei Ling is going to be a future star in TNA. I can say she's one of the top women. And in this match, you see it. Like her, she pretty much stole the show when she was in the ring. But let's get to the match. The match was good. It was chaos and fun. So Jesse and Maggie start, but then Maggie tags in Fallon and Jesse go back and forth with roll ups and good back and forth, but then Jesse gets mad, tagging in Maggie, pulling her by her hair, throwing her back in the ring, and that's where the chaos starts. Because then every time each team goes in a corner, each team tags each other. So when Fatal Influence is in the ring, they're doing deadly kicks like Jasmine, Nyx, and Fallon does their crazy offense. But Jasmine Nyx, where her kicks seemed pretty like they looked it like they heard it. Fallon was helping her with like, assisted running knees and stuff. Inspiration did their iconic inspiration moves, the iconic kicks, the inspirationer, like, their iconic moves. Heather and Maggie was mostly on the outside, but they was observing everything. And that was actually pretty smart because near the end, they kind of used that to their advantage. And then we had Lei and Lee and Zaya Brookside, and I feel like they're a really good tag team. When Brookside was in the ring, she was flying all around, taking out every single woman. She took out almost all the women, like literally when she was flying, she took out multiple spots across bodies, swantons, taking out almost half of the woman on the outside. Uh, when Lei Ling was in the ring, she did her MMA background. She did her spinning front face slam. That is like a really good move. Near the end is chaos because Jasmine is about to lose because somebody puts their feet on the ropes. JC Jane helps Fatal Influence by putting one of the girls' feet on the ropes. Maya Shirai, yes, Maya Shirai is outside because she's been working with the inspiration lately. So Mariah Shirai fights JC. They get breaking up, and then Maya Shirai checks on inspiration. And then when that happens, JC Jane opponents for Heatwave, Masha and Ash fights, and then everyone breaks them up. Security tells Masha, JC, and Ash to get out. So when they get kicked out of ringside, everyone fights in the ring. Near the end, everyone is near the corner about to do a multi-woman powerbomb. But instead, we get one, I think, yeah, Fallon picking up inspiration, hitting them with the powerbomb. Jace, Nyx and her about to do a move, but then Zaya takes them out. And then near the end, Lei Ling tries to pick up the win, but she gets thrown off the top rope by Maggie, and they steal the win by hitting their elegance like multi-woman swanton for the win. Really good match. It was pretty chaotic, but it was fun. Like every team got a spot to shine during their moves, but it was really good. And that's the one thing about the knockouts tag division. You're gonna get some fun. Like it's you're gonna get wrestling, but you're gonna get fun wrestling. We're gonna be a little goofy, but it was so good. Multiple women flying. We had multiple spots. We had two brawls break out. And what did this mean? Because Mariah Shirai attacked JC Jane during the match. So is Mara Shirai gonna ask for a match? Because like, damn, she just went to TNA. So if she's gonna get a match against JC, that'd be kind of crazy. And I love how they also intertwine JC Jane, Masha, and Ash in the match. Because if you think about it, Masha's with Zaya and Lei Ling. JC's were her girls, Fader Influence, and Ash's were her girls, the Elegance. So it made sense that almost every group had kind of like a manager or a under girl by ringside to have that brawl as well. Really smart, really creative, and I loved it. And then we got the no DQ match with Steve Macklin and Jake Something. And boy, was it hectic. And it was kind of surprising for a DQ match because they didn't lose that many weapons, but when they did, it was brutal. So first they chop and clothesline the hell out of each other on the outside. Steve bangs Something's head into the steel steps, but on the corner, like on the pointy side, like near the edge of it. Gruesome, but back and forth. Something drops a deadly power bomb to Jake on the steel steps, back in the ring. Both of them fight back and forth. Unbelievable. Jake Something does some crazy like pop up power bomb into like a suplex. Like some of the combos was like crazy. And then near the end, Jake Something tries to do the black hole slam, but it gets reversed, and Macklin hits the KIA for the win. Jake Something is something else, and Steve Macklin is a hard hidden war. And could anyone take him down? I don't know about that. We have to wait to see. And then we get the World Tag Team Championships with the Hardys versus the Vascals, and it was fun. We know that when we put those two groups together, we was gonna have fun, and it was a big fight feel. Matt and Jeff were sharp. The Rascals brought the speed and the poetry and motion, swantons. Like, we got multiple big moves. Like, we got cutters, we got multi-man brawls. The Rascals nearly stole the win with a double stomp to Jeff's neck. They used Jeff Hardy as a weapon. They pick up Jeff and they literally use him as a battering ram to Matt. Crazy back and forth. Reed grabs Jeff and he does a running cutter to the outside of the ring, like a springboard cutter. I was shook of. Just that. I'm like, oh my God, they're both going to be knocked out. No, Matt Hardy was able to catch Reed before he got down on time. So he stopped the extreme springboard cutter from the diving cutter. So Matt takes him out with a twist of fate, and then back in the ring, Jeff Hardy hits a swanton for the win. Really good, and it does keep the Hardys good because they're gonna have the match with 3D at Bound for Glory. So we have to see who will retain the titles then. But this was a really good match, and I want to see more of the Rascals. Hopefully, this means the Rascals, because they're not gonna go after the World Tag Team titles. They can fight it on their tag team in a feud. Because I don't want the Rascals just not to compete for a bit. So hopefully something is going to happen. But I'm really excited with the Hardys and 3D coming up soon. That's going to be killer. And then we got the main event, and boy, was it good. Like, Trick and Moose was an absolute banger. You could feel the energy in the crowd. The storytelling was great. Trick kind of like messing around with Moose in his hometown. Anytime he put a punch, anytime he mocked fun of Moose, Moose was like a beast, just dragging him out the ring, beating him up. Anytime Trick tried to do something slick, Moose caught him in the act and started beating him up, slamming him back and forth. Moose does a crazy like springboard inside the ring that takes out Trick, and Trick looked as shocked after getting hit by that. He was like, I didn't know he can do that. On the outside, Trick smacks Moose and starts beating him up in front of his family. But Moose flips it over, beats the hell out of Trick. He millie wops Trick in front of his family. They go back in the ring, chaos. And then back outside on the ring, Moose goes for a table because Trick throws Moose onto a table. And then near the end of the match, that's where the real chaos happens. Moose almost hits the referee but doesn't, but then Trick does by accidentally hitting a trick shot to the referee. Moose hits a spear. He could have got the win, but the referee's knocked out. Moose hits a power bomb in the corner, and then an under spear. The referee's still knocked out, so Moose still doesn't pick up the win. Technically, he would have won, and I think it was after that, it would have been more than a street count. That would have been like a 20, 30 count because the way that this referee did not get up, like, irked me a bit, but that's just me. I know it's the whole thing of wrestling, but goddamn, a kick like that takes you out for almost like the rest of the match. I don't know. Uh, Back and forth, but Trick hits a trick shot to the back of Moose's head and then hits two more trick shots to Moose's face for the win. So in total, Trick hits three trick shots to take out Moose for the win. And he is still champion. I liked it. It was really psychology filled, beautiful storytelling, and you can tell that the wrestling IQ was on point because Trick was being using his cheating style, but Moose kind of caught it. It was like that little bit of cat and mouse, but not in a goofy way. It was like really serious, and you can tell because every time Trick did something sneaky, he almost got Moose, but Moose kind of stopped it. But ever since that referee got knocked out, Moose could have won, but it was all due to timing. Trick knew just at the right time I need to hit three or more trick shots to take out Moose, and that's what he did. And it was a really good match. I can't wait to see what happens. Heat Wave, Trick is in that number one contender match next week to see who will face Oba. I have a feeling that Moose is going to interfere, like what I said in my prediction. Trick kind of did cheat in this match. She kind of stole the one from Moose. So I'm not surprised if Moose gets payback next week on NXT. And then Trick and Moose can have another match. But most likely, those two are going to lead into a bigger match, or we're going to get a fatal four way in the future. I can see it. I explain why in my predictions, but pretty much I say that, like in this match that just happened, Trick costs Moose the title. Moose goes to NXT next week. He causes Trick the number one contender opportunity for the NXT title. Trick gets mad, so at Heatwave, he costs Javon the title. So all men are complaining, and then it gets announced a four-way match. I feel like that's most likely going to happen. But this pay-per-view was good overall. We got some really killer matches, and I cannot wait. Like these TNA events are really good. And hopefully you guys liked the video, and I'll see you guys next time.